coming out here after 30 years. Yeah, I ain't got nothing, but I'm gonna have something because I'm rich in personality, you know, and I'm rich in love. My family love me, and that's really all that counts. Hey man, shout out to everybody out there on Team Banky Pound, man. I appreciate the love. Crunk Jim, home of the Hitman Hearns. Salute, man. Hey, listen, man. Boy, we back in action, man. I'm telling y'all, I couldn't film. The microphone won't working right. Hopefully it's working right now. Hopefully this audio is sufficient for y'all. But hey, man, we got to do what we got to do. But we back up in this piece, man. Big love to everybody who support me, everybody who support the movement. Let's go. Let's get it. TBP Nation, stand up. Road to 110K. Getting tired of saying that. Road to 110K, man. Then 150. We having the biggest meet and greet that you ever seen thus far. You heard me? Let's go, let's get it, man. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Hey, listen. Penitentiary, man. Different animal, man. Different animal, man. I'm going to tell you something that's crazy that I learned when I was in the penitentiary. You can get to know somebody, get to know what you think is their character, who they are, this, that, and the third, be around them and everything, because I told y'all, the state is different. I don't know what they do in the feds. In the States, man, dudes don't be knowing what your charge is. Dudes don't ask you what your charge is. That don't happen in the state. It ain't like you in the state, you got to show your paperwork. Or the way they be saying they do it in the feds. People don't do that in the state. You know what I'm saying? Seriously. If you go ask somebody, man, what you locked up for? Somebody might punch you in your mouth. You did real tough. You know, so it's like what you gonna do with that information, what you need to know that for, you know, that type of vibe this in the state. But I will say this, when people find out what your charge is and you got a crazy charge, man, they turn on you, boy. They turn on you. And it's weird though, man, because I've been around dudes like that. I've actually been around dudes that I deem to be alright, to be cool, and it's hard the way you can look at it because you don't want to be judgmental. It's difficult. It'll put you in a funny position because now it's like you looking at this dude who you thought was this dude, and then you saying, well, he did this, but then it's like, how can you judge him for what he did, or how do you actually know he did it just because he charged with it? Because I know dudes is locked up that ain't do what they locked up for. So it's a crazy vibe, man. It's crazy. But I seen it go from good to bad with a lot of dudes, man, with them type of charges, man. Crazy charges. And I'm talking about, man, listen. I was locked up with this dude. I knew this dude. I ain't calling no names in this video right here. I can tell you that right now. Just cause, out of respect, but I was locked up with this dude. I knew this dude briefly on the street, but I knew his brother real well. I knew his brother real well, man. And so I didn't barely know him, but when I got locked up, he had already been locked up. But I ain't had no idea what he was locked up for. But just because I knew his people, when I ran across him, he was like, yo, such my brother, man. Oh yeah, woo, I met you before. Woo. I deemed him okay. I'm like, all right, woo. Now, soon after that, maybe even just within a week or two, I found out, you know what I'm saying, he was into certain type of lifestyle. But at the same time, like I say, in prison, you let people do what they do. You know what I'm saying? It just depends on how they treat you, how they deal with you. You let people do what they do. You know what I'm saying? He had some peoples. He was in the cell with some peoples, and you know it was known. Okay, boom. I still ain't judging him for that. You know, cause like I said, I knew his brother, man, and I was real cool with his brother. So then later on, you know, I started hearing people saying little things about him, and I thought they were saying something about him because of the simple fact that he, you know, messed with the peoples or whatever. But they started saying, man, no, man, that dude's sick, man. He's sick, man. I was like, what you mean? You know what I'm saying? He's sick. What you talking about? Because no, man, you don't know what he locked up for? And I realized I didn't. You know what I'm saying? Because that's not my business. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, no, I don't be knowing what nobody locked up for. Why you know what he locked up for? And he was like, man, everybody know, man. I'm like, man, I'm not everybody. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? So they start saying that he was locked up for armed robbery, and he robbed an old person, an old lady, and they saying that he, did what he did to the old lady sexually, as well as when he was in the process of doing that, she's supposed to have had a ring on her finger that he could not get off, and they said he cut the finger off, man, to get the ring. Then he put the finger in a rectum. An older elder lady too. So, man, when you think about stuff like that, I'm like, what? Man, where you get this from? And they was like, man, it's public knowledge. It was in the newspaper. It was what I'm like, nah, man. So dude was like, man, I can show you, man. Dude's got them Jones. Dude's got them clippers and stuff like that. So it just made me reevaluate them differently. There was no way I could look at them the same. I was trying not to be judgmental, but I'm like, man, what in the Sam hell? And it started then when you see things in retrospect, you start to be like, okay, because he was quiet though. He was real quiet. He stayed in the cell, with his people, whatever. But when he came out, he didn't do a whole lot of socializing. So it seemed like when he ran across me, it was like he was happy to really have somebody to really, really kick it with because I knew somebody he knew, whatever. But I guess he just assumed that I didn't know, which I didn't, so that just kind of like blew me, dog. It really did blew me because if you find something like that out, and like I say, even not trying to be judgmental, it's like when I look at them, I couldn't unsee that, man. That was like the only thing that was coming to my mind. I couldn't unsee it. And I'm like, man, did he, and you want to know, you feel in your mind like, did he really do this or was he just charged with it? It's kind of, man, it's just a crazy feeling. Just try to put yourself in that position that you meet somebody, you know him, you talking to him, okay, yeah, he into some tomfoolery, whatever, he locked up them choices he made, woo. But then when you find stuff out like that, you be like, what? Because that's, to me, is like, that's some sick stuff. Super duper sick. It ain't no other way around it. So I think he could tell by the way I started being a little distant to each other. Hey, yo, man, I'm like, all right, hold up. I couldn't really face him. I ain't know how to face him. And I know he ain't do nothing to me. He ain't do nothing to me. And then that's where when you get to judging, that's where the hypocrisy come in. Because we as people being locked up, we be feeling like, man, these COs will shoot us, they'll kill us, they'll beat us, they'll scrap us down, they'll do all of this for a paycheck. And we ain't never did nothing to them person. You know what I'm saying? So when you take judgment upon somebody and they ain't never did nothing to you, but you judging them for what you think they did or they accused of doing, or you know what I'm saying, or whatever the case may be, you being a hypocrite as well. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know that at the time. I didn't have this type of thinking at that time, but I think like that now. But I can remember me being different to him, man. And I ain't had no reason, no personal reason that he did to me, just the fact that you did some weird, sick stuff. You know what I'm saying? In my opinion. You know what I'm saying? So that's just some weird stuff that you have to deal with being locked up, man. Dudes had them crazy charges like that, man. Because then it happened to my other homeboy. And see, that it could go both ways because the charge could not be true. Like I said, now I can say his name because I spoke on him before, like my homeboy Snyder. Everybody was cool with Snyder because Snyder was a cool dude. Pulled the baddest broad on the compound. Smooth brother. You know what I'm saying? And it did, but everybody found out that he was locked up. He supposed to have, a grape charge. You know what I'm saying? R.A.P.E. charge. But he swear to God that he didn't do it. But just with you being accused of it. And that's the hypocrisy in prison. Dudes will be like, man, they ain't do it, man. I got railroaded, woo, man, on these people. And saying that, and be mad because we know the system will railroad you, especially if you're a certain type of hue, certain type of color, they'll railroad you. So we be mad because we get railroaded in there, and everybody be talking about how crooked the system is. But then when you get in the system and you got to charge, a dude will feel like you did the charge. They don't even want to give you the benefit of the doubt, but they expect the courtrooms to give you the benefit of the doubt. Because his dudes is locked up, man, I know for a fact they ain't do what they locked up for. You know? And dudes looked at Snyder, I think they was just jealous because he could pull the women. And they was like, man, oh, them women sick, man. They sick as I don't know what. They be like, that's what they like. They like them old tree jumpers. They like them dudes got them type of charges. That must be they type of fantasy or something. Dudes just be mad because they can't pull it, bro. And then just come to find out that he had that type of charge, I guess they feel like they could say stuff like that. And, you know, Snyder had to put a few heads to bed. You know what I'm saying? Because he could rumble. You know what I'm saying? He had to put a few heads to bed, too, with dudes talking like that. And then dudes going to call you a certain type of thing, especially if you got that type of charge. You know what I'm saying? If you got them type of, you know what I'm saying, you know, raping charges, they gon' get at you. You know what I'm saying? So, especially if they jealous of you. If you got anything else going on, that's going to be the number one topic, man. Oh, man, you know what I'm saying? You a what's the name, you know? So, that's going to be the number one topic. So, dudes going to have to, you know, and you had some, listen to me when I tell you this, real tough. And you had some head busters, flat out knockout artists, flat out rumbling jokers. They had them type of charges. I'm telling you right now. I'm telling you, get down. But who knows if they did or not? They got them charges. Now I can look at some of them and assume in my mind, being judgmental, oh yeah, he did that. Because I can tell everybody with the way they move in prison. You know what I'm saying? You will think, oh yeah, he'll take some. He'll definitely take some. Because now imagine dudes having them type of charges, and every time you turn around, they're a notorious gunner. They always gunning. They always in the shop. They always chasing the bros. And you got that type of charge. When you think that they, you know what I'm saying, that charge might be true, it might be. You might take some. You take these women around here like your mind going bad. And you know what I'm saying? So, boom, and I can remember a dude being on the compound with me too. And everybody like him. He work out. He go to church all the time. Christians work out, cut up. You know what I'm saying? Come to find out, he be laid in the cut. You know, gunning the bras. And everybody was like, what? What? No, man. But the crazy part about it was, the bro that he was gunning, you know, she go for it. She's a beast. She known for letting dudes, you know, go to work, get it in, you know. But she scream on him and lock him up. And dudes was like, man, what? First of all, man, and that's a dudes come to your defense because of what they think they know about you. Dudes is like, man, he ain't do that, man. All he be doing is working out. Man, that man be going to church and everything. That man be handing the Bible with him, reading the Bible on the yard with him. He ain't doing it. He was doing it. You know what I'm saying? He was sly on the gunning tip. And she said, and so now the officers should turn on, I mean, the convicts should turn on her like, yo, you don't write that man up. All that meat you be what? Dudes go at her because dudes liked him. And she let the cat out of the bag. She said, let me tell you something. If I do whatever I do, it's because I want to do it. But one thing ain't nobody going to do. And ain't no R-A-P-E-D. Ain't no ape is going to do nothing to me. I ain't letting him sit there and look at me and fantasize and do this and do it. And I'm thinking that he might want to do something to me like that. Nope, I'm going to send a clear message that no, I'm not going for that. Nope. And then dudes like, all of what she's saying, the only thing that dudes caught in their mind was that she said that he was a apist. They said, nah, not him. He ain't no. You better look it up. You better look it up. That's what he in here for. That's what he in here for. I seen the file. Put the spotlight right on him. Now dudes is looking at him like, no. Somebody pulled it up. And it was facts. Changed the whole perception of him. Now everybody treating them different. Everybody dealing with a long handled spoon. Your whole character, your whole reputation in the penitentiary is going to be shattered and changed if somebody find out that you got a crazy charge. You know what I'm saying? If somebody find out you got a charge with taking advantage of a woman sexually or messing with some kids or some type of crazy demonic type, you know what I'm saying, diabolical crazy stuff, man, people they gonna flip on you in there. And it's weird though, because you got some dudes that got, now I ain't trying to stereotype, I'm just keeping it 100 with y'all. You got some dudes and they got some real diabolical charges, crazy charges, like cutting, people head off and burying them in their backyard. Yeah, I'd have been around people with this, with them type of charges. Dude got supposed to have killed 2 people, was on the cold case list, and they buried in his backyard. They dig their bodies up. Real talk. Dude cut head off. You know what I'm saying? Which I just seen in the news recently. Somebody did that as well. Dudes, man, I've been locked up with dudes literally had charges of having sex with animals. You know what I'm saying? I've been locked up with dudes having charges of, torturing animals, setting animals on fire, cutting animals' heads off, putting animals' parts in the microwave. And these to me, this is like diabolical type stuff. So you got dudes that got charges like that, serial killers. You know what I'm saying? Dudes got 4, 5, 6 murders and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Dudes that set family members on fire. Dudes that killed their mama and killed their parents, killed their grandma. You know what I'm saying? That dudes is locked up for killing their kids, dog. They kids. So the crazy thing is when you got them dudes got them diabolical crazy charges like that, man, then you have some dudes in prison like that. This been there ain't gonna be there forever and never. Man, they try to do some strange things to them type of dudes. But you would think in your mind, you gonna go mess with this dude who got 4 bodies. You gonna go mess with this dude to bury somebody in his backyard. You gonna go mess with this dude to kill his mama and his daddy. They don't kill. They don't kill. Them the ones they want. They gonna try to turn them out. Turn them into girls or extort them. And I'm telling you, like I know the way y'all probably think out here in the real world, how you gonna try to extort a dude that got 4 bodies? They do it. Because you know why? Because normally if he got them 4 bodies on the street, he probably use a weapon. He probably use a gun. He probably had the advantage. Not so much in the penitentiary. The penitentiary, the law of the jungle, is the Bethlehem, baby. The law of the jungle is thunder and lightning. The law of the jungle, biggest heart. If you ain't cut like that, with no weapon, no gun, man, they come to eat your lunch, man. They come to eat your lunch and want you to buy them lunch. You dig? I'm telling you, man, real talk. So prison is just different like that, man. It's just a different beast, a different animal, man. And I'm like, all of this stuff like coming to me like, man, where in the Sam am I at? You know what I'm saying? But it be like that. And it be so overwhelming when you first come in and you in like places like the Wall or Powhatan. Bro, I'm telling you, man, if you think about being in the Wall or being in Powhatan at nighttime, it is the equivalent to probably just walking down the block. Is equivalent to probably, like, I'm trying to put in perspective like y'all to understand on the street, probably like you walking down a dark alley that you've never walked down before. That's how you feel when you walk out that cell. When you walk out that cell, it's like you walking down a dark alley, in a city that you ain't never been in before. And the alley is endless and you by yourself. You understand what I'm saying? That's how I feel when you walk out your cell. That's how I felt when I walked out my cell, you know what I'm saying, and it's dark in there in the wall and in the power tank. You get that type of atmosphere, like you don't know what's gonna happen. You don't know what's coming from where. You don't know what's gonna jump out behind this, garbage can, or who gonna come out of the shadows. You just don't know. You know what I'm saying? And when you got them crazy charges, man, people is you as a target. You know what I'm saying? But like I say, they don't go around asking about your charges. It always be the police that gonna tell on you, gonna leak it out there, or it's gonna be somebody that was from your neighborhood and they see you and they don't like you or whatever, or they trying to keep the weight off of them. And they gonna put it out there, man. And them be the ones that they go at. They got them crazy, insane charges. And then you got you might have the white guys, and they got crazy charges in a little bit of time, and then dudes resent them for that. You know what I'm saying? They resent them for that. I tell you, I know white boys. The only white boy that I can think of that I knew that had crazy charges that dudes ain't really just beat up or so was Neil, and that was the one I told you about. His family was rich, and he was kind of like a cool white boy, but he had money. But he was in the cell with a dude that I think Jersey that kept that weight up off him, because I think if Neil was by himself, he still probably would have been getting extorted. You know what I'm saying? But he was also the type of white boy you just ain't gonna beat him up neither. You gonna have to hurt him. He gonna fight back and all of that. He just was one of them crazy white boys. But when you got them white boys is in there for them crazy charges like that, they gonna be extorted, man, and they probably gonna try to turn them out. You know what I'm saying? They probably gonna try to turn them out. Now if they got them little charges in there for messing with kids, they definitely are talking to be turned out. Them dudes are gonna try to, oh, you like to do that to little kids? Okay, you must like that done to you. And they coming at them. They coming at them with everything. They coming at them, man. You get them old timers that got that look in their eye like like Damon and Friday. What are you out there for? Yeah, you got them jokers up in there. They in there. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man, them charges, man, if you got them weird charges, man, and the thing is, like I say, it don't matter if it's true or not. You know what I'm saying? And that's how the world is. The world gonna judge you for what you charge for, not what you actually did. Just because it's on you, they gonna, you know what I'm saying? They gonna treat you like that. And that's how it's gonna be on the inside of prison, which is crazy because everybody in prison is crying about, they innocent, they ain't do this, and the people just, railroad them and all this. But when you get in prison, you gonna look at the next person like he lying too. Everybody ain't innocent. You know what I'm saying? So it's just a weird feeling, man. So you never know. And then somebody could put a bad charge on you. Somebody could say you charged with this or whatever, and you not. But you may face the difficulties in dealing with that before they find out if the charge is actually real or not. You know what I'm saying? Because just of the quick judgment, and man, I can't even tell you how many lies in the penitentiary. I don't even think they got that number. I don't even think that number is on the scoreboard, on the number calendar, the number. Is not even what's the word I'm looking for? It's not even in the numerals. It's no such number. You know what I'm saying? A gazillion, billion, trillion. Man, everybody is. People gonna say what they need to say, man, to get their point across or to prove their point, be it true or not. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, crazy charges to get you killed in the penitentiary, dog. Yeah, unfortunately, I have seen that too. People lose their life because of what they was locked up for. Like I said, look at the situation that me and Dixon had with the big white boy. It was really because of his charges. Ain't nobody like him because of his charges. It was a racist charge, and it was a charge against a kid. You see what I'm saying? So the disdain and the dislike is going to be real for you in there, depending upon who you around and what their personal beliefs are. So you're going to have to deal with that if it's known what you did, you know what I'm saying, or what you allegedly did. But anyway, man, I made that video based upon somebody asking me about that this morning. So shout out to you, whoever you was, man. I appreciate y'all. Y'all keep on talking to me. I definitely talk back. Big love to TBP Nation, man. Y'all stand tall, man. Let's go. Let's get it, man. Let's get to this 110K, then 150, man. I want the meet and greet. I want to see all of y'all. You hear me? Shout out to all of my subscribers, man. Shout out to all of my members. Love y'all. New video coming soon. Y'all be safe. Be smart. Make good decisions, man. And by all means, duck them hooks, man. They out there and they vicious.
Banky special.
Yeah.
Pure deliciousness.
Pure deliciousness, man.
My name is Banky, man. Everybody calls me Banky. That's the name that I got from my grandmother when I was young. I'm coming out here after 30 years. Yeah, I ain't got nothing, but I'm gonna have something because I'm rich in personality, you know, and I'm rich in love. My family love me, and that's really all that counts.